So it's a wooden base with a chair built in it. I saw this almost like an old kitchen chair, fiberglass.
That's an add-on accessory.
And then there's like conduit piping that came around, and then the fabric was sewn right to that.
Right.
And how many years were you sewing them before it just got too big for you?
Within 2 years.
Wow.
2 years, that's enough. I would say somewhere in that.
When the numbers got bigger, like 80.
Yeah.
And stuff. That's how Dad tells the story, is that the first year she only sold, she sewed 20, and the second year she sold 50, and when she had to do 80, she said
So you
no
had
more.
the fish house.
Yes.
That's kind of what started the whole thing.
Yes.
And then it kind of grew from there. Not only the fish houses, but there was other stuff, other things. What else was going on?
I think, we have the depth finder that was all of a sudden discovered. And I really remember sitting down with my dad one day. He was out in the garage and he's looking at this green box. And I'm like, what are you doing, Dad? And he said, look, you can see your jig. And he takes this out and he shows me the jig on there. And he was so excited. So this is back a long time ago when you think about the Lowrance green box. That's kind of the first time that I remember him pointing out that there was a jig down there. So at that same time, he's trying to figure out how he can use this on the ice. How am I going to be able to use that? And that's where the ice box came in place. You start seeing that, and he's building a box to carry this depth finder out on the ice. So you go through, is it Hondex and Cytex and Vexlar and, all these different units. And he's just showing everybody how he can see his depth finder, he can see his lure down there. And that was kind of the innovation. Now you start seeing your lure. You're now using this portable fish house. You can see your jig down there. You've got your ice box. Your depth finder is now on there. You're using a lightweight rod. You're using, I can remember as a kid, we took hooks and you tied the lead onto the hook so he could see it down on his depth finder better. And all of a sudden he created this whole system that he used to go catch more fish on the ice. And, people were calling, they wanted to know about this whole system, what he was using, and how do you drill those holes? Now we got, a power auger out there. We're not using those spoon augers. So now you're being able to drill more holes. You're being able to see what you're doing down under the ice. It was pretty phenomenal. And the phone calls of people calling, wanting to know, what about the system? What are you using? They're ordering this products. They're so excited. And it was across the country. It was so cool. We'd get off and say, oh, I just talked to somebody from New York, or I just talked to somebody from,
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Or Wisconsin.
Yeah.
This lady here deserves an awful lot of credit for what she did. Not only did she sew all those fish houses, but Patsy said the business is at a certain point. We got to kind of go forward. She, in her 40s, went back to school and got her college education so that she would be able to do the bookkeeping for this business.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Not only did she go back to school, but now in order for Dave to be able to go out and promote this whole new system, now there's got to be an income that's going to come in. She actually went to work at a business so she could get familiar with things for a little bit. Then she took on Midwest Direct, created a company to ship maggots across the 7-state area. So Patsy was home, baking cookies, shipping maggots, taking the phone calls, placing all the orders, getting everything organized while he was out selling. So she was really the big backbone behind all of Winter Fishing System. Dave could not have done it without Patsy.